geospatial information system, project management, Six Sigma, and the Russian language. He loves the hands-on way of learning and living. His motto has always been "Karke dikha." So his method of learning and teaching is the practical way. His interests, exposure, and choices are vast, varied, and intense. He is a member of the Environmental Association of Bangalore, Rotary International, and Toastmasters International. After his retirement, he has been a trainer, tutor, and mentor. He teaches varied subjects starting from science, maths to history, English, and in languages Hindi and Russian. He runs an institute for this. He has taught mechanical engineering at Alliance University, and above all, as a feather in his cap, he is also an entrepreneur. He plays various games. He has played tennis at the All India Inter-University level. He learned Urdu just so that he could enjoy ghazals. He likes old films and songs. For the last 10 years, veteran Colonel Rama has been motivating, guiding, and enabling young people through his institute, the Rotary Club and the Toastmasters Club. He has a passion for public speaking, and today he is going to talk to us about the very, very important topic, from information to insight. Over to you, Colonel sir. Please take the stage.
Thank you very much, Arun sir, for that kind introduction. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This program or this effort of mine is dedicated to all gurus. The first guru being the mother, whether among the animals, birds, or human beings, she is the first guru and teacher. Then the father, who remains quiet and silent, but from a distance, he is always watchful of the children, and he's the one, without showing much, he brings up his children. Then there are the teachers, the molders of personality of any person. There are guides, mentors, consultants who shape the personality of a person. What I am today is because of the combined efforts of my mother, father, teachers, guides, mentors, consultants, and also the surroundings, the time, which have taught many a lesson to me. The trigger for this program which is, Arun sir, if you switch off, I'll manage from here, sir. Okay, Arun sir, if you can display again. There is a problem here from my side.
Okay.
This idea or this program from information to insight came from a small 9th class girl. She was my student and the year was 2014. She was in ninth class, I remember correctly. And she asked one question: why should I study sine theta and cos theta? Believe me, at that time, the answer I gave was, her name is Charanya. Charanya, you must study sine theta and cos theta so that you pass ninth class and you get a good husband. Surprisingly, she looked at me and she could not understand what I was saying. I said, you have to study this subject so that you pass class 9, then you have to pass class 10, class 12, and you become a graduate. Unless you do that, you are not going to get a good husband. And so that you get a good husband, go through it, study sine theta, cos theta, and pass these mathematics examinations. She understood, did it. I thought I gave a very witty answer. No, it was a very stupid answer. But that particular question set me thinking, indeed, why should anyone study these type of mathematics, sine theta, cos theta, and all those things? It so happened that one day I was sitting beside a pond and I dropped a pebble into it. A piece of wood, a twig, was moving up and down on those ripples. And I realized that it was moving in a sinusoidal fashion, up and down. After some time, I was bouncing a ball. I realized that if I leave the ball bouncing like that, it takes a sinusoidal movement, of course, with diminishing amplitude, and after some time, it comes to a standstill. Similarly, in childhood, we have used swings. The movement of the swing is also sinusoidal. This kind of movement on paper is represented in the form of a sine wave. Further, the sound which comes to me from somewhere, or when I am speaking, the sound which is going to you, that also is a sine function. It moves in a sinusoidal wave form. The pendulum which we have seen at our grandparents' place, this kind of movement, it is represented in a sine form on a sheet of paper. That also is sinusoidal. The inverter in my house has a small label behind it, true sine wave. That means from the battery, it generates alternating current, which is in sine wave, and the power which is coming to our houses, the electricity which is coming to us, is again alternating current in the sine wave fashion. That means sine wave is present everywhere in nature. It is so very natural that it warrants a deeper study. And today, I'm sure if Charanya comes to me, I will not give that stupid answer. My answer will be, it is so natural. Therefore, we should study sine theta. Next one. Ladies and gentlemen, today, information has become free. This device is all powerful. Any information I seek, I get it either on YouTube, Wikipedia, Google, etc., etc. If you look at this photo, you will recognize Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. He wrote Gitanjali, for which he got the Nobel Prize. Can anyone think of some of the lines of Gitanjali? I recollect. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, and like that the poem goes on, and it ends into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. May not be knowledge, but information certainly is free today. But is insight free? That is the question which has been coming to me again and again. I realized that my insight is my insight. Your insight is your insight. Information may be free, information may be common, but the insight you have, insight he or she has, or the insight I have, They are totally different. In earlier days, then, we used to go to libraries in search of information and knowledge. Some people who could afford, they could buy magazines like General Knowledge Today, Manorama Yearbook, and very rich people, they used to go for encyclopedias. And those who had the guts could walk up to the professors, sit with them, and discuss their problems. And now for any information, we go to the sites which are available, and most of them are absolutely free. So using the insights which we develop, we can benefit ourselves and we can benefit people around us. How? I will give some examples. A few weeks back, I was in Mumbai. I was guest to a gentleman by name Vinod Sharma. He is an insurance agent. And on that day, there was a quiz program going on in that area in which he lived. I was also there. One question which was asked was, what is Tendulkar's date of birth? Tendulkar is a legendary cricket player of India. Sachin Tendulkar is his full name. The question was, what is his date of birth? And one young girl raised her hand and answered his date of birth is 24 April 1973. The answer happened to be correct. And she got a prize, which was a big chocolate. My host, Vinod Sharma, suddenly got up and ran out of that arena. I thought something has happened, and I ran behind him. He came to a quiet place and called up somebody. And he was seeking an interview or a meeting with the cricket player, Sachin Tendulkar. I said, what happened, Vinod? He said, look, Sachin Tendulkar was born in 1974. Now he is 49 years of age. And next April, he will be 50. He will be crossing 50. In my insurance company, there is a policy. If somebody less than 50 years of age, he takes it, there is enormous benefit to him, which he loses after he crosses 50. And therefore, I can certainly contact Tendulkar. He's a very rich person. He's a celebrity. And if I give him a policy, it's going to be a big one. And with him, many others will take that policy. So I have to prepare and rush to Tendulkar. Maybe next week, I will meet him and offer a policy. Just look at it, gentlemen. He developed an insight. The information which was there, that is date of birth of Tendulkar, the girl which spoke out, she got a chocolate. And I'm sure this gentleman, Vinod Sharma, must have got a pension for his life through the income which would keep coming from the policy he sold to Tendulkar. That is the power of insight. Another example I'll give you. I was taking a class for 9th class students, and one subject was drainage system. With due apologies to everyone, please allow me to take this example. It conveys a message. So initially we discussed about the drainage systems which existed in our ancient times, in Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, etc. And then, as is my way, I don't give answers directly on a platter. I said, now tell me, what is the population of Bangalore? Some said 25 lakhs, some 60 lakhs, some 80 lakhs. Approximately the population of Bangalore today is about 1 crore, 100 lakhs. I said, today, garbage is collected by trucks. They come to apartment buildings and houses and they collect in open trucks. Some small, some big, which we see between 6 o'clock and 9:30 in the morning. I said, just imagine, everybody defecates in the morning and assume that per head it is 600 grams, that is 0.6 kg. And for 1 crore population, just calculate how much it is. Brilliant fellows, they said 60 lakhs. I said, per truck, large truck, if you take 12,000 tons, 12,000 say kilograms, how many trucks will be required? They calculated, they said 500. I said, 500 aromatic trucks will be moving around your place in the morning every day if you don't have a drainage system. And if trucks carry the excreta the way they carry other garbage from Bangalore. So what is required? They came out with solutions. They said, there has to be a system. I said, yes. Then it has to be underground. Of course, yes. It has to be maintenance free. And all they could, come out with n number of characteristics of a drainage system. I said, this is how you develop an insight. Tomorrow, you people will become collectors, commissioners, ministers, town planners. Therefore, this understanding which you have today will be useful. Another example I'll give you. There are doctors, so-called good and so-called not so good doctors. It all depends upon their diagnosis. The ECG report is same. The blood sugar reports are same. The physical parameters, age, weight, chest, this and that, all things remaining same. Two doctors will diagnose in different ways. The diagnoses are different because their insights are different and therefore their prescriptions are different. One doctor charges only 200 rupees. The other fellow charges 1,500. Enormous difference. And that difference is because of the difference in the insight. Similarly, I'll give you one example. It actually happened with me. From Delhi, we came to Bangalore on posting in the year 2008. Our two sons, one was about 11 years of age and one was 16 then. And one day I realized that these fellows are wearing trousers in a very awkward way. They were below the normal, waist level. And on top of that, they are displaying their underwears. I shouted at them. I said, what is this? They said, no, Papa, this is the latest way of wearing trousers. I said, come on, yeah, we never had it. And in fact, I used to keep getting angry often. And they used to wear like that. So after taking a bashing from me, they used to wear normally. And again, after some time, they used to go back to the same system. And the brand they were displaying was Jockey. And I realized that almost everybody of that age, they were wearing trousers like that. And I used to get angry, worked up. I could not go beyond the so-called manners. I could have studied this jockey phenomenon a little bit deeper. Had I done that, I would have hit a jackpot. Later, I realized that Jockey is a 150-year-old brand from America. It is famous across the globe. And in India, there is only one company which has the rights to manufacture and sell in India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. And that company is Page Industries, headquartered in Bangalore. 6 factories they have in Bangalore, where I live. And their company stock is listed on the National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. I am an equity investor. I missed that opportunity. And in that period, 2008-9, it was available at 1,000 rupees per piece. Believe me, a few weeks back, I bought one stock of Page Industries for 40,000 rupees. Yes, 40,000 rupees. And today it is available for about 50 to 53,000 rupees. Not always I missed opportunities. Using insights, I gained a lot also. I had a motorcycle by name Yasti many years back. I was a young captain and I used to enjoy riding it. It was a very sporty motorcycle and I am an automobile engineer. I knew that for very good mileage out of an engine, out of a car engine or a motorcycle engine, the ignition system and the carburation system has to be very good. The ignition, that is, the spark has to be given at the right time, and the carburetor, which mixes petrol and air, has to mix the petrol and air in a particular ratio. So I developed a device to measure the ignition timing, and I set the carburetor as per my studies. And believe me, against a claim of 27 kilometers per liter by SD, I used to get 40 kilometers per liter, not once, not twice, but continuously. Power of insight. Now you will ask me, where do I get this kind of insight? My answer is, you can get from anywhere. It can be talk of the town. Now, recently we heard that cars, they have long waiting list. Trucks, they have waiting list. Very surprising. With so much of competition, Maruti has a waiting list of 6 months to 9 months. Similarly, Hyundai, Ashok Leyland, trucks, they are on waiting list. Why? Just because a small piece, a chip, is in short supply. Taiwan is the largest manufacturer, and it is not producing enough. Therefore, because of the shortage,
That's right. No problem.
trucks are waiting, cars are waiting, washing machines are waiting, and so many devices are waiting just because the chip is not available. And recently there was news that Mr. Anil Agarwal, he is the founder of a company called Vedanta. He made a statement that in Gujarat, they are establishing a facility for manufacture of chips in India. A great multi-billion dollar opportunity for that particular company. So he's using the insight. Again, if you are aware, recently there is a talk of drones. I'm chasing this drone, the government policy. About 6 months back, the government declared the drone policy, and there are many companies who are manufacturing and operating drones. A lot of work is happening in drones, manufacturing, operations, use, etc., including nasty things like military operations. Again, the next subject which is being talked about is electric vehicles. A few years back, when I taught diesel and petrol engines in Alliance University, I openly used to say, forget diesel and petrol engines. My subject is very old. Now focus on electric vehicles. If you can design or join a company for manufacture anything about electric vehicles, go for it. And another subject which is being discussed is mobility, any mobility. We are talking about air taxis. Most likely we will have drones being operated as taxis. And while studying that, I went to study this company called Tesla, Elon Musk and Tesla. So Tesla is a name. Then I went deeper and found that Tesla is a great scientist who existed during Edison's time. In fact, he was a subordinate or an employee of Edison. Perhaps he has done much more work than Newton and Edison, but his name has never been discussed, or the fame which he should have got, he did not get. Recently, I bought a book, My Inventions, autobiography of Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest scientists and engineers of recent times. So, ladies and gentlemen, now when we talk about technology, now I realized that every technology takes an S curve. You see this curve, which is in the form of an S. At the bottom, you will find that any technology, it starts emerging first. It may die its own death in the initial stages, like a human being. He has to survive for the first few years. Similarly, a technology or a company or even fashion has to survive the initial days. It has to find acceptance. And once it is accepted, it goes into super growth trajectory. That is the almost 45-degree curve which you see. And a time comes when it finds maturity, like a human being also. They become matured and stagnation happens, and ultimately death. Similarly, it happens in the case of technology. For example, you take telephones. Years back, we had only landlines. Even that too was not acceptable by many people. Slowly, that gave way to huge mobile phones, and then smaller mobile phones, which had little bit, functions like communication over phone, audio communication, time, and messaging, etc. And now, today, we have smartphones. In terms of communication, we have crossed the boundaries of 4G. 5G has already come to Bangalore, and there are companies which are designing. In fact, there are countries which are operating 8G technologies. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, they have 8G. And believe me, NASA and ISRO, they are somewhere at 10G. So once the technology saturates, another technology takes over. And this S curve keeps repeating itself. So by understanding where we are in this, whether it is fashion or technology, one can get an insight into that technology, do that business or activity, and benefit. So anybody who is at the beginning of the trend, he will be the largest beneficiary. That brings me to what is happening in terms of technology, etc. in India. Friends, India is in a sweet spot. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. I think this is the time which is the best for particularly the youngsters, those people who are in schools, colleges, and in jobs. The reasons are many. The first is the population. Over 65% of India's population is under the age of 35. That means what? High energy, low sickness, high productivity, and also high consumption. We are a consumer base of 140 crores. Friends, that is a very, very big number. Even one person buying 1 pen per year, it is 140 crore pens per year. That is the kind of business opportunity which is there. And then our food situation is extremely good. We are the largest producers of milk in the world. We are the second largest producer of grains in the world. We are the largest producer of sugar in the world. You keep naming, and we are producing that much. There was a time, I remember 1965-66, we used to get food or milk powder under WHO. As a young boy of 5-6 years of age, we used to go to the public health clinic every Saturday to get the food or the milk food or the milk powder which was sent, we are told, by Denmark. And they were told that in Denmark there are mountains of milk powder and all those things. We used to imagine how much milk powder should be there. The situation is different, and in a country like ours, 60 years is no big deal. It's a short time, and within this short time, we have come to a stage where we are feeding many countries around us. Then look at the affordability. There may be some friends from Government Engineering College, Jabalpur Colony. Our neighbors were Professor Srivastav, Bobby's father. I remember he bought a car in those days, that Fiat car, I think it was 68 or 69. The price I still remember was 25,000 rupees. And his salary at that time was less than 500 rupees, a professor. So if you divide, it is 500 times monthly salary. That was the kind of money which was required to buy a car. Very poor affordability. And today, a professor with 3 months salary can buy a good car. Aspirations are rising. The reason is the income levels are rising. Even a person who is earning 20,000 rupees, he wants his son or daughter to go to a private school. They want their children to go to tutorials in the evening, learn various skills, dance, music systems, practice yoga, karate, etc. And not buying slippers on the weekly market on the roadside. They want at least Paragon, Relaxo, if not Bata. That is the kind of aspirations they have. They want things branded, branded schools, branded slippers, branded clothes. So aspirations are rising, and therefore the economy will keep moving ahead. And then you all have heard Atmanirbhar Bharat. Extraordinary manufacturing is happening in our country. I understand that two major locomotive companies, one from Germany, that is Siemens, and one from France, Alstom Technologies, they are competing to establish manufacturing base of locomotives in India. In any case, if you see, the trains have seen a lot of transformation. And when these new technologies come into India and they start exporting locomotives from India, a lot of job creation and prosperity has to happen. That is Atmanirbhar Bharat. In science and technology, we are way ahead of many countries. Vaccines, you are aware, we manufactured, we supplied, and that way we saved a lot many lives. IT, you know, we have been exporting tech to so many countries in developed world, that is USA, Europe, etc. In space, we have taken giant leaps. So if that be the situation, there will be battle for skill, because companies want skilled people. They are not looking at degrees now, but they are looking at skill. And those people who have the skills, they are joining growing companies, growth companies in the private sector. The battle for skill and the battle for insight. If you look at this picture, what do you see? I see a very healthy person who is sitting and enjoying something on his mobile phone. He has a shining face and looks very, very healthy and tough. Behind that is a person who is lean and he's on the way to becoming as healthy as the person in the foreground. And between them is that device, that exercising machine, which will give this pink health to the other person also. Now tell me, person number one who is in the foreground, has he got this health by begging? No. Has he got it by borrowing? Has he asked anybody, friend, give me your health for 3-4 days, I'll give it back? No. Has he got it by stealing? Has he stolen from somewhere? No chance. Has he got it by virtue of inheritance, by way of will from his father or grandfather or anybody? No way. Has he bought it like we buy dresses or a piece of jewelry? Absolutely not. Friends, he has learned and he has earned. The only way to get this health is by learning and earning. Similarly, the skills, they have to be learned and earned. And a time comes when the skill becomes the second nature. Like driving, initially we have so much of problem. We have to concentrate on where our left foot is going, where our right foot is going. We have to observe the traffic in front, left, right, behind also, mirror, and steering. So much of tension. But a time comes when driving becomes second nature and we enjoy talking to friends, listening to music. Look at this girl, how happy she is driving a car. Similarly, look at a lady who is cooking. She is not tense. With after certain years of experience, it becomes second nature. So whatever she is doing, even if there is a deviation which is happening in the recipe, she can control, take care of things, and prepare the most wonderful dishes. I witnessed a surgery. Believe me, it was an operation theater in my friend's surgery. I asked for it. He says, come. And initially, I used to think that there is a lot of tension where surgery is going on. No, in the operation theater, people are very joyful. They listen to music, they joke around, and they, dexterous. They only talk, which is very cool. There is no anxiety, there is no anger, there is no frustration. Even if something is going wrong, they handle it very, very comfortably. So that becomes a second nature. Similarly, you take repairs, a mechanic, because I also enjoy repairs. Okay, anything goes wrong, I don't come under stress, whether it is a car or anything. Okay, particularly a vehicle, I enjoy it. So that becomes second nature. For IT fellows, I can't do coding, but I have seen people, they're so comfortable. Even if there are errors in their codes, or if somebody else has done the coding, they are able to rectify the codes and present a good working solution. Friends, can we take a short 30-second exercise? I request you to please switch on your minds and start counting from 1. And when I say stop, you please stop. Okay, and you tell me or note down on a piece of paper in your mind how much could you count. Like start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Start counting.
1, 2, 3.
In your mind, in your mind. Stop. Keep the figure with you. Okay, just keep a note as to what count you reached. This was in a period of 30 seconds. Okay, you did it in a sequence. Good. The same thing you do now again. Please start from 1 again and count as fast as you can. Stop. 30 seconds. Now, okay, I will not ask you how much you counted, but you can unmute and say, did you count more in the second attempt than you counted in the first attempt?
Yes.
More, sir. Yes.
More
Yes,
than
yes.
that.
More than that.
More than that. The time was same, the activity was same. Do you know what was the reason?
Repetition.
Yeah, the reason was,
Repetition.
yeah, the reasons were two. One is awareness, that is focus, and second was practice. Once you have that awareness and once you have the practice, believe me, efficiency goes up. And if you keep doing many times, a time will come when you will become very, very fast. Okay, what do you see here? And what you don't see here, please make a note, mental note or on a piece of paper. What you do not see. I see a duck floating in water. You make a note as to what you are not seeing in this picture. Fine. Next. The duck looks very quiet. Actually, it is not. Successful people, they also look very quiet, very cool, composed from outside. But if you look at the duck underwater, what is happening, the duck only knows the kind of effort, the kind of pedaling which is happening underwater. Similarly, behind the victory or behind the success of the so-called successful people, enormous amount of effort goes in. My wife had a classmate in her, she was a hostler also. Her name is actual name, Nivedita. And she used to remain very cool, keep mixing around with people, and what everybody else is doing, what project work they are doing, and these kind they used to see. And she used to show as if she is doing nothing. Arey yaar, kuch nahi chal raha hai, just like that. And some people who knew what Nivedita is, they knew that after everybody went off to sleep, she used to work hard. She used to study very hard. And she used to wake up early in the morning when others are asleep and study again. She is today a senior IAS officer posted in Delhi. That is the characteristic of a successful person. Again, you heard of Usain Bolt, the fastest man who happened on this planet. For 7 gold medals, what I have read is he ran for 2 minutes and 23 seconds. That's all. And for those 2 minutes and 23 seconds, he has practiced for more than 20 years. So what we see is his dash 100 meters, 200 meters, and the relay. That's all we see, and we clap. But the effort which has happened, 20 years of hard work behind that, that is not visible. Just like underwater, the duck is making those efforts. So now that brings us to the question, what we can do as teachers, parents, etc. My understanding is we use the data, collect the data, chart them, develop trends, find out what is happening, project the trends, also use the information which is available this side, that side, from friends, from the media, from the newspaper, etc. Superimpose this information on the data which we keep getting. Apply our imagination, means going beyond what is visible, and develop insights into various aspects, whether it is bringing up a child, whether it is teaching science, maths, English, or whether it is doing business. The idea is to develop an insight, develop processes. Like Krishna said in Gita, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You focus on the process, you focus on the work, not on the outcome, and use these insights, these processes to prosper, and also to help, to enable and empower the youngsters to become more powerful, stronger, and enabled, and ultimately bring back our lost glory. Let us become the world gurus once again, not only feeding grains and supplying vaccines, but in all respects. That brings us to the end of my presentation. If at all you want more on this topic, I welcome you all to contact me on this number, 93794 57929. My name is Rama, a retired Army veteran. This is my email ID, rama.rao221@gmail.com. And I'm posting here the Calendly link. You can fix an appointment, and that half an hour plus 15 minutes is yours. We can discuss one-to-one also. And if you happen to be living around our area, this is the establishment we have by name Sigma Tutorials, which is located in the building called Hello Kids. The location is Rajarajeshwari Nagar, just adjacent to the Rajarajeshwari temple, the famous Rajarajeshwari temple in this area. We can have one-to-one communication also. And we may come on telephone also or on virtual platform like Zoom or Google Meets. My dear friends, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time and giving me an opportunity to convey something to you and through you to the youngsters who are in schools and colleges. I am also thankful to VAC Solution, who have given me this platform to express my views, and in particular to Mr. Arun Subramanian, who has helped me a lot to come to this level and allowed me to share this platform. Many thanks. Thank you very much once again. Over to you, sir.
Please post the Calendly link in the chat box.
Sure, I will do right now.
Thank you, Colonel Rama Rao, for a wonderful presentation. The platform is now open. If anyone has got any question, feel free to ask Colonel. He will be replying you.
Please shoot questions, ladies and gentlemen. I know you have questions. Send. This is the Calendly link. And this is the phone number. I wonder where Sharanya is now. She must be 22, 23 years of age. If at all I meet her, I'll give her a big thank you. Sujata Balaji, madam, you seem to be having something in your mind.
So very informative, very insightful. That's how I did title this session. But that fine difference that has been clearly understood now, and how important an insight is as compared to information, I think that is a good elaboration.
The power which the teacher had so far, that is the power of information he or she having and the students not having, that gap has been bridged now.
Yes.
An engineering college student can sit under a tree and learn how an engine works.
That is why teachers are now termed facilitators, no more teachers.
And also the attendance, 75% attendance, which was there in
Yes.
the hands of the teacher, slowly it will fizzle away. So they will come for something more than that. That is an insight. That is something which is made out of the information, the knowledge, and the experience, the understanding of the teacher, and all processed and given to them.
True, very true.
Ms. Mamata Singh had a question which she has put in the chat box. If you would be kind enough to address that question.
Yeah, sure. Let me look at the chat box. Ms. Mamta, can you read out, please? Or
let me read out the question. Which
Please.
is the most burning problem in India today?
All right.
And what is the solution?
Okay. Okay. My insight is it is the drain of energy and resources which is happening today. Earlier, our diversions were very few. We were focused on sports, music, studies. We were happy with that. However, today, the leakage of attention, some new term which has come to me, which is happening today, that is taking its toll. The students, even adults, are not able to focus on one subject or one activity for a long time. The attention span has come down. The listening ability has come down. The ability to grasp a particular subject in depth has come down. The mind is wavering from one subject to the other, one information to the other very frequently. A lot of energy is getting drained out. And the way, the amount of work the mind is doing, unnecessary work, that is processing the visuals, the audio, the other things which are coming, that is enormous. That has to be cut off. That is, I feel, the biggest problem facing humanity today. Lack of focus, lack of understanding depth, and accumulating filth, I would say, mental filth. So if that can be avoided, believe me, we will rise in all fields, physical, mental, emotional, financial, in all fields, we will rise very fast. Does that answer your question, Ms. Mamta? Sorry, I had an
insight
eye.
on how actually remains.
Can I,
Because of eye surgery, I find it difficult to read the small text in the chat box. Okay,
can I add, sir?
please come.
So my view to Mamta's question is, so one of the biggest problem in India is our resources, our talent. So we prepare them and it is being drained out to other countries like US, UK, such a precious wealth. What that is another problem, that we are not able to offer them attractive jobs and things. But we are preparing all prepared good dishes to the outside people, and they are enjoying and developing their own nation through them. Thank you.
I agree with you 100%.
Thank you.
Colonel Rao, I feel that information being available free is the biggest problem across the globe. People don't give a second thought to reach out to somebody, whether a mentor, guide, whoever the tutor, everything at the click of a mouse. And then they feel they know everything. But what to know, how much to know, that limitation, they are, they're crossing that threshold. I think that is what is really making them lose the focus. Too much of information also spoils you for choice.
Yes.
I feel it boils down to that point.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. And there is another facet to it. Anything which is negative, anything which is bad, anything which is violent, it appeals much, much more than anything which is sober, anything which is good. Okay, bhaji or pakoda looks much, much more tastier than sprout. A neat, clean social film is a bore.
Yes.
And one which has violence and all those things, that appeals much more.
You're right, sir. Absolutely.
Friends, you are welcome to post the questions on my mobile number. I'll be too happy to answer them and discuss with you. Once again, thank you very much for being with me. And I hand over the stage back to you, Arun sir.
Thank you, Colonel Ramarao. It was a wonderful, insightful evening for all of us. And we look forward to your patronizing the platform more often and, sharing your insights with the audience here so that we will all benefit. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the evening that you have devoted towards Wax Solutions program. Thank you. Good day to you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.